Hello, sales team. A little video on administration, paperwork, busy work. Every company has it. Here's the forms that you're going to need to do your job well. You'll need these forms, programs to get stuff done around here. Advertiser, terms and condition form, insertion order, invoices, statements, credit card authorization sheet, some way to track your miles, and some way to plan your day with a daily call tracker. This is a copy of the terms and conditions. You will have had a copy of this emailed to you by now, but basically this is a long form, two pages that cover everybody for when they sign up for more than one insertion. Well, you can do this for one insertion as well. It just protects everybody, and especially us, mostly for if an account decides they want to place an ad and we're going to print on the 11th of the month, and on the 10th they say, hey, we don't want to place the ad anymore. We have a little bit of legal recourse to say, sorry, you're placing the ad. We have the space carved out. We paid everybody to get us to this point. We counted on your ad to move forward with publishing this issue. You're going to advertise. There's page 2. So you can read that, but again, you will have a copy of this. This is completed either online and emailed, or you can print it out and walk it into an account, however you want to work that, but as long as you get a signed copy back. The other part of this is the actual order form called an insertion order. This is where you indicate the issue month they want to run, the ad size, the rate, and material deadline. So if it was May, full page, $1,200, let's say for I think that's our 6-issue rate. So in May, June, July, August, September, October, full pages all the way down, $1,200 all the way down. Material deadline would be April the 8th, 9th this month. And then there's a spot here for notes if you want to put they're submitting the ad, we're creating the ad, whatever you want to put in here. They sign and date it also. And this little bit here, production charges and production disclaimer, is probably one of the most important parts of this whole deal. So you'll want to get that signed also. Next, this is just a copy of an invoice, just so you can see what they look like. On the Magazine Manager video, you'll find out how you can generate these, but invoices are generally generated by Michelle Adams and sent out to an account. If there's a problem or they can't find it or they're overdue, we will often create a PDF of this and email it to them lickety split so they can get us paid. And then this is a statement of an account. This one is Dandelion, and it basically just shows all of their orders and that they paid. So they have opening balance here, $375. They were invoiced for the December 2020 issue, $375. So now their balance is $750. They paid us against an invoice that's on a previous page of this for this invoice here. 19,932, and it brought the balance down to 375, and then they ordered again. So you can just see the running total here. Down at the bottom is how their past dues are looking like. This particular invoice here's the city guide. This is an old one. I printed this. I just had this in my file, so this isn't what's due right now. But this is showing their most recent payment due was the city guide. That's the $1,200. And then somewhere way in the past, and we've been dealing with this for a long time, they have an invoice they never paid. That shows up here, but it gives you an idea, and it's a good communication tool for any account that wants to keep track of their account, and especially some that are overdue and paying us. That also is available in Magazine Manager, and those are also usually generated by Michelle. This is a credit card authorization form. If you would like us to charge a credit card on a certain day of the month for their ad, especially for an ongoing account that's advertising every month, or an account that's just going to advertise once, you can create this form and get it to Michelle. you, let's go with May again. May 2022 here would be the insertion month, and then you would pick the date when the card would be processed by checking with the account. We're going to hit your card April 15th for this, April 5th, whatever. Probably the best is to hit it before we go to print, so we have the money up front and then the amount. They sign it, and then you print it here. You can do this over the phone, however they're comfortable giving you credit card information. Some people will just send you an email. Some want it over the phone. Some will have text half of it and email half of it. Some will send you a Western Union telegram with it on there. It's just all kinds of different ways people want it. But the form goes to Michelle. You should not keep copies of this stuff. If you do, it needs to be not exposed, because their card number will be here. Everything that is needed to charge their card. But complete that, get that to Michelle, make sure she knows that you want this done, and then follow up with her to make sure that these are happening. Charging credit card is by far the best way for us to secure payment in a timely manner. It costs the company money to process cards as opposed to getting a check. And normally what happens is when an ad is placed, we generate an invoice and expect to be paid by a check or them calling us with a credit card payment within 30 days. Mileage tracker, you'll want to track your miles. I suggest, that should say phone app. Nice typing. A mileage tracking phone app is highly recommended. You can get them now that sync with some of them will sync with your car and automatically record your business miles, because as a outside salesperson, you'll have a lot of ways to start itemizing your tax deductions if you're not now. The government currently pays 55 cents a mile, and those miles add up just driving around town. You want to keep track of every mile that you drive for business. And because the company will only reimburse for mileage in certain cases, you're on your own to pay for your own mileage and gas and those types of things. So highly recommended. And then this is a daily call sheet that I created at the very beginning of the game. I will go into this in another video as well, but this basically is a daily sheet where you can put the day where you're working, beginning miles, end miles, and then a plan for who you're going to talk to that day. I have 18 calls on here. Doesn't mean you have to use all of them. I've got sheets as short as 10 and as long as 20. It just depends on what I'm doing during the day in the field, or phone calls or whatever. There's a see, call, email, or an appointment box here for you to check the name of the business and the goal and follow-up info you want to put for each of your calls. So you would pick the accounts you want to contact today, what you're trying to accomplish in each one, how you're going to contact them. If you're driving, you log your miles here if you need to, unless you have, again, an app on your phone. You can see this form I created in 2010. Been a while. So, some things have changed, and you can work this on your phone as well if you'd like. I'm an old guy and like to have a piece of paper that I can scribble all over and see my notes all in one sheet that I can use to follow up with afterwards. And I do believe that's it. Those are just a short amount of administrative stuff for making sure your business runs well.